What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. So last night I was able to check out the new Kraven the Hunter film, aka the last film in the Sony Spider-Man universe, as I like to call it. And I'm going to give my spoiler-free thoughts on this, but before we get started, if you don't mind hitting that subscribe button and liking this video, it'll help the algorithm a lot, get my video out there, and get me more subscribers, which will in turn help the overall quality of what I'm trying to do here go up. And yeah, without further ado, let's get started on this review. I'm going to keep this pretty short and sweet because I really didn't like this film at all, guys. I'm just going to be real. But yeah, starting with what did work about this movie, because even when I really don't like a film such as this, I'm going to still try to focus on the positives first and foremost. And I will say, Aaron Taylor Johnson in this movie, he really did his best to save this film. He's delivering the cheesy dialogue. He honestly sells the action scenes. He's got such a great physique for this role that he's given me body anxiety for like a year now. But yeah, he really kind of owns this role of Kraven in a way that I really didn't expect him to, because I remember when this film was first announced and they said Aaron Taylor Johnson was going to be playing Kraven, I was kind of like, this guy, honestly, I could see more of a, if Jason Momoa kind of honed in some of his, I guess, ecstatic or eccentric energy, you could say, I feel like he would have been a much better Kraven. But honestly, by the end of this film, I really did like Aaron Taylor Johnson's performance. And while I hope we never get a sequel to this film, if they used him as another variant or whatever in the MCU fighting Tom Holland's Spider-Man, or they bring him in Secret Wars or whatever, I'd be down for that. I thought he gave a really good performance. Probably my favorite performance of any of these, I guess, spin-off Spider-Man character villains or whatever, maybe outside of Eddie Brock. But yeah, Russell Crowe, who plays his father in this film, I thought he gave another really strong performance. Again, it's not like top tier Oscar worthy. I mean, there's nothing in this film that's Oscar worthy, but I thought he really gave a strong performance all around. And the scenes with him and Kraven, I just thought were really well done. The action scenes, they're pretty bloody. They're very strong as a whole. I thought they were really well choreographed, specifically the opening 8 minutes with the prison escape. There's a chase scene, like a car chase scene about halfway through the film. And then like there's a scene toward the third act where it basically comes off as like Home Alone, but if Kevin McAllister was like a hunter out in the woods, and it's just a lot of fun. So again, really strong, brutal violence, but it's just really unique, clever, the way that they kind of do things. They set these traps for this group of men that are coming to hunt him down. Like, again, it's just a lot of fun. And yeah, the final shot of this movie is highly satisfying. Like, if you know Kraven from the comics, like, I'm not going to give away any spoilers here, but like the final shot, I just really thought was extremely comic accurate, and I loved it to death. And I know it's kind of weird to say the final shot is one of the film's best positives, but in this instance, it did put a smile on my face. So even though the rest of what I'm about to talk about are strictly negatives, credit where credit's due, this movie did technically, I guess, end with me having a smile on my face, which is more than I can say for like anything else of these films. Anyways, you know, despite a strong opening 8 minutes and some solid action sequences, the story is really where this falls apart in typical Sony fashion. The plot of this movie, it's all over the place. Nothing really makes sense. It's disjointed to where I genuinely, like, sitting here less than 24 hours after I've seen this film, could not tell you a single thing that really happened outside of, like, Kraven's trying to get back at his dad, and there's stuff with, like, a speedster that's, like, never explained and never really tied up. Just, you know, and then his brother's well, this isn't really a spoiler, but mild spoiler alert for those who are worried. His brother ends up being the chameleon, and it just makes no sense. There's no, like, again, similar to the speedster that I can't even tell you the name of this guy. The brother that ends up being, or Kraven's brother that ends up being the chameleon, just makes no sense. It comes out of nowhere. Maybe I missed something, but I don't think I would have missed anything as important as that, guys. And it's very, again, disjointed. It's like no arcs given to any of these characters outside of maybe Kraven. It's just a very messy movie in every sense of the word. And yeah, like, moving on with that, Rhino, who I was actually pretty excited to see in the trailer, made it look like he was going to be, finally a lot more comic accurate than what we saw in The Amazing Spider-Man 2. My guys, The Amazing Spider-Man 2, by comparison, had the most comic accurate Rhino in the history of any adaptation we'll ever have compared to this. This is one of the worst versions I think we'll ever see across any form of medium. I'm not going to give away spoilers for it, but yeah, the CGI didn't look all that great. I mean, there's a couple moments where it looked fine, but for the most part, it just looked really rushed and lazily put together. And yeah, I'm not over the fact that one of the things I can't get over with this film is that if you've seen, I think, the original teaser trailer that came out like a year or two ago at this point, this man literally gets AIDS from a lion. I'm still can't get over that. And like, if you've seen the movie, you're gonna know exactly what I'm talking about. Or again, if you've seen that teaser. But yeah, bro literally gets an STD from a lion, and he ends up becoming Kraven. That's how he gets his powers. And that's not a spoiler. That happens in the first 20 minutes of the movie, as well as that trailer. But yeah, it is dumb. It is ridiculous. It's on par with Spider Monkey Indians or whatever from Madam Web. It's just a joke. And just again, the story is really what brings this film down. And it is unfortunate because the moments where it's kind of like Kraven trying to get to a certain person, or there's people on his hit list he's taking out, it really has this almost John Wick vibe to it. And I feel like if they had actually followed through with this premise, it could have made for a really solid action flick. Again, nothing special. And it definitely would have kind of felt like a John Wick ripoff to a certain degree, but also it would have been fun. I would have walked away probably being a lot more entertained than I was walking out of this film. But overall, the film is just, again, very disjointed. The dialogue is weak and cheesy. I didn't think it was quite as bad as maybe like Madam Web or Morbius, but it's not far from it either. And some of the most underdeveloped villains I've ever seen in a comic book movie. And all of this ultimately just adds up to maybe not the biggest misfire the Sony Spider-Man-less cinematic universe has had, but it's definitely going to be the last one, I think. I really think, in case there was any doubt that they weren't serious about not continuing this franchise, the fact that this has made, like, I'm not even sure how much, I think like less than 20-30 million, which is pretty bad for a comic book movie in general, but especially one with the Spider-Man name attached to it, and one that I think had a pretty hefty budget, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, overall, I'm going to give this a 3.5 out of 10. Overall, again, Aaron Taylor Johnson's performance as Kraven carried the film. The action scenes were pretty good. Everything else, though, especially from a story standpoint, just not good, guys. But anyways, that's all I got for today. Let me know in the comments down below. Have you seen Kraven? Did you hate it as much as I did? Did you actually like it? Which, hey, if you did, that's cool. That's great. I'm glad you could find enjoyment in it that I couldn't see. But yeah, whatever it is, let me know down in the comments down below, and make sure to like, subscribe, comment, and share this video, and I will catch you all later. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to watch this video. If you liked what you've seen here and you want to see more, please feel free to like, subscribe, share, and check out my other videos in the link in the description down below, and I will see you all later.